Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing representing my squad, and today I'm going over an update on one of my spiciest profiles and recipes ever. We always invent weird stuff that works, and this is one of those decks that it just looks weird, but it works. It's really explosive. It is 60 card Lightsworns with no Brilliant Fusion, no Predator Plant Engine, no Lone Fire Blossoms, no Grass Green, and no Left Arm Offense, no Dinosaurs, no Zombies. What? Yes. Lightsworn Power Rangers, you guys. It's insane. It's amazing. There's a lot of spicy text that I've incorporated into this deck to make it just as good as all the other engines that I mentioned, but without playing them, to showcase Lightsworns in one of their purest forms. Yes, I do play a Power Ranger engine, which is Super Quantums, but I play more Lightsworns in my Lightsworn deck than in any other Lightsworn deck that's topping right now. Let's hop into the main deck. So starting off with your Power Ranger ending, I play 3 Red Ranger. It's the only one that I play at 3. I've considered at playing Fairy Alpha at 3 and also the Blue Ranger at 3 because they're searchers. But this is the one I want to start with because it just specials itself for free. It's one of the best cards to mill. It's always a play extender whenever you mill it because you get another body on field for your link summoning. Because in order to do the Power Ranger combos, you need an extra monster zone, at least 2 extra monster zones open at all times. So the idea is to just go Saryu's just Goldred first and then summon all 3 of them and then go into Magnus. But even when you're not able to do that, you can still put up like a Book of Moon, MST during either player's turn, and then a Snow with a Tornado Dragon. That's like a lot of disruption. And when you can get the Lila, the Lightsworn, on the field, like any deck that's relying on field spells or like Pendulums, like they're not going to win. Then you have 2 Green Rangers. He's my favorite because he looks like super cool. I imagine myself in that armor. And then 2 Blue Rangers, she's pretty much your Stratos. She searches out your entire engine. He specials himself and adds resources from grave to hand. And then if he's sent to the graveyard, you can special one from grave. Every Power Ranger has an effect if they're sent to the graveyard. They don't have to leave the field to the graveyard. They just have to be sent to the graveyard. You can Foolish Burial them. You can mill them off with charges and Minerva, stuff like that. They synergize very well with the Lightsworn archetype. He specials one from hand. And then he also can, if he hits the grave, you discard and then draw. And then in addition to her searching on summon, she searches. They all have effect on summon, basically, and then they have grave effects. Then her grave effect is she shuffles up to 3 Power Ranger cards, Super Quant cards, into your deck, which is cool. So you'll never run out of these. And then, honestly, the best one, I'm going to bump it to 3, is a Fairy Alphen. If you open with this card, you're probably going to make Magnus, just put it that way. It's really, really powerful. So you have just like a little 9-card engine just to help your deck like be more aggressive and also have an alternative win condition. Because Magnus is a boss monster that actually is a win condition. Dracos literally have 0 outs to it. They can't beat Magnus whatsoever, no matter how you look at it. And then on top of that, they can't add cards to their hand, so they can't even like do their standard draw plays. Like they just literally, whatever they open up with, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So Magnus is insane. Now moving on to the Lightsworn portion. First of all, I played 2 Punishment Dragons because this card's retarded. I find myself like going through my extra deck a lot, and then I can only play one of certain cards. So what I'll do is I'll like go in and I'll like link summon a lot, summoning a lot of cards from my extra deck, and then like go through Power Ranger engine, and then he'll put everything right back. He'll put all my link monsters back into my extra deck. He'll put all my Charge of the Light Brigades, my Solar Recharges, my regular spells, Monster Reborn. He puts it all back into the deck. And then you can just keep milling. He's just retarded. And then I play 1 Judgment Dragon. The reason why I play 1 Judgment Dragon is because I'm actually taking in a Phosphorage as well. I like him. He's just another spicy tech for the deck. These are main deck boss monsters to allow you to, be a little bit more aggressive. And also, this one is a little bit more disruptive than it is aggressive. But still, they allow you to make plays without going into your extra deck. So for some reason, you're locked out of your extra deck. You can circumvent for that problem using cards like these. Then we're going to go into the Lightsworn portion. So Lightsworns kind of speak for themselves. They're a deck that's had longer than 10 years for a run. And they've always just been in and out of formats. You have 3 Raidens, 3 Wolves, 2 Felice. Here's going to catch people off guards. I play Garoth. Garoth, Minerva is like one of my favorite go-tos. If I can go for this, I'm going to go for it because I want to draw 5 cards. And cool thing is when you Curios with Garoth on the field, you're going to mill 2 off the card that you send from your deck to your grave. then you're gonna mill 2 more off of Curios's mill, because it's each time, it's not once per turn, and it's not even optional. It's like Curios, how it's mandatory. So you can set this up as like Chain Link 1 if you wanted to. Then I play 2 Luminas, 2 more Luminas. Like the Lumina loop is just banish special this, discard special, link, banish special, discard special, link, banish special, discard special. As long as you have cards in hand, you can Lumina loop like to infinity and beyond, just like Buzz Lightyear. And then 2 Lilas, the Lightsworn, and then 1 of the regular one. This one's a lot better going second. This one is reactive, like going first. This is a pressure card. But going second, you don't have to like rely on any effect being activated. Even though you can normal this and activate a spell and get her effect off. Like I just want to normal this and then mill some cards like right now, and then bait that strike. You know, force that Apocalypse, force that Masterpiece to come out right now, so I can just deal with him instead of them doing it when they want. So that's it for the Lightsworns. Look at that. We're actually playing Lightsworns. That's a lot of Lightsworns, dude. Your Minerva is going to at least hit 1, you know, at least. Let's go ahead into the engine cards. We're playing 3 Goblinbergs. Goblinberg is one of the best starters. You're trying to get bodies on field. You're trying to make ring 4 plays. You're trying to get Minerva, of course. Just this card's just stupid. Like, it's really, really good. 3 Snows. Dude, like, this deck is known for snow. I play 3 because I want to draw it. And then we play Giant Rex. We play Trick Clown. We play Eclipse Wyvern. These are all just one of extenders. Eclipse Wyvern's not that great right now because all it's really going to do is give me punishment. That's why I'm playing 1 instead of 2. Because it's just like, you know, I don't really like seeing it too often. And then there's times when I mill my dragons into this. So I just felt like it's a perfect one-off. If I really need a judgment or punishment that bad and I already have a snow, I can just Curios this. I do play 2 Flower Bots. Flower Bot's another one of my spicy techs. I guarantee you there's no Lightsworn player that I didn't tell this about that was playing this before I did. This card is just like so underrated. It does what Lightsworn players really want. So it draws a card. If it's into the graveyard, it draws a card. Then you place 1 card from your hand on the top of your deck. Like, can I tell you how I comboed with this card? Like, dude, I literally charged the Light Brigade at this. And then I already had Wolf, so I drew a card off this. And then I put Wolf on top of my deck. Went into Minerva, sacked Wolf, and then sacked Felice as the 3rd card. So I hit Wolf and Felice and then drew 2. And got just like free field presence. It was just stupid. Flowerbot puts in a lot of work. Then for our spells. Oh snap, my spells aren't very organized. I apologize for that. So let me start with the charges. I play 3 of each. I play 3 Solar Recharge. And also 3 Charge of Light Brigades. These are the best spells in this deck. And trust me, you can actually play Solar Recharge because you play a lot of Lightsworns. Like, the ability to mill is what makes these cards so good, especially because, like, this mills this cost. It's really, really good. Like, when you see these cards, it accelerates your deck so fast. Like, sometimes just resolving a charge can end up making, like, more than half your deck go away because, like, you mill the cards that end up getting more cards out of your deck. It's crazy. Like, this deck really does go off. And then now I'm going to continue with the next set of cards, which is going to be the field spell for the Super Quantums, the Power Rangers. I played 2 Magnet Carrier and 2 Optimus Prime to search it. This is the original 1-card XYZ before Zodiacs came out. So you use this field spell to make any 1 Power Ranger into an XYZ. The green one, you turn it into the green one. The blue one, you turn it into blue one, and so on and so forth. So I like this a lot. And this is how you summon Magnus. You just send this card to the graveyard and you summon Great Magnus using, you know, the Power Rangers little Zoids from the grave or the field. And if they're on the field and they have materials, all their materials become Magnus's materials. So it's going to be like very, very... it's going to be downhill from there. Put it that way. I also play a playset of Second Light. Now, I'm going to have to explain my theory on why I play these. Because most people look at it and be like, oh, bro, you're stupid. If you play this card, you can't play any other spells for the rest of the duel. Well, that's the thing. After you resolve it, you can't play anything for the rest of the duel. So why is Sekka's Light so good in Lightsworns? For one, when you mill it and use this graveyard effect, it doesn't restrict you from activating any other spells. It says if you activate this card. So if you're using its effect from grave, you're not activating the spell. You're using its other effect to get another draw and put a Wolf or a Felice or, you know, Flower Bar or anything back into your deck where it belongs. And then the other thing is you pretty much burn through your engine and you play a lot of your powerful spells like pretty rapidly. So you can play your good spells first and then use this. And the cool thing is you play Fairy Tail Snow. So if you're going to tell me right now you have to have no spells or traps in your grid to activate that, I know that. You can use Fairy Tail Snow to banish your spells and traps, so this is live. I play tested with this card a lot, and it's really, really good. I prefer to mill it more than I like to draw it, but when I draw it, and if I'm going for game, if I just need extra resources, I'll play the Sekka's Light and, you know, put myself under the restriction. Well, now I can only play Sekka's Light for the rest of the duel. And that's what it does. Like, I can still Sekka's Light again and draw 2 more cards. It's just I can't activate any other spells, but it's still cool. It's still Pot of Greed. It's just a weird Pot of Greed. It works, though. So Sekka's Light's just another engine all in its own. I've explained my theory for that. If you feel like, you know, it's not good, that's on you. You're entitled to your opinion, but it's still my deck. So 2 Monster Reborn Reborns. I love this card a lot, but I don't see myself playing 3 because it's like a weird hard once per turn. It's like already a situational card in its own, and then playing 3 of it is just like worse. But in Lightsworns, you set yourself up pretty fast with it. It's just like, make sure you target 3 really, really good monsters, and make sure that even the worst one is good, because your opponent will give you the worst one. Or just target 3 with the same name. If you got it, you got it. Then the actual Monster Reborn. And to go in tandem with that, I do also play a World Legacy Succession. Dude, we just want to like play as many Monster Reborns as we possibly can. So this is just Reborn, except it just summons to a Link Zone. But that's okay, because this deck Link summons like nobody's business. In fact, this deck Link summons more consistently than Spirals do. 1 for 1, because you're trying to resolve your Fairy often for your Power Rangers. And then I do play a Manifold Fusion. You can discard for your field spell, discard for Lumina, mill it from your deck to your grave. It's just like, it's never dead, I promise. That's it for the main deck. I believe it should be 60 cards exact. The extra deck is always tight. I always have issues with the extra deck in my Lightsworns. Starting off with 2 Minervas, I can cut one, but the second one comes up so much. It's just, whew, you got to play 2. Then I do play 2 Great Magnuses. Let me read this card to you. Card gains effects based on its materials. If you have 2 or more materials during the other player's turn, you can detach a card, detach a material, shuffle 1 card from the field into the deck. During the other player's main phase, sorry. If this card has 4 or more materials, it's unaffected by any and all card effects except for Super Quant cards. And then if this card has 6 or more materials, your opponent cannot add cards from their deck to your hand by card effects. So it's the normal draw phase, and that's it. Goodbye, Dracos. Like, you're not doing anything to this card. And then it gets worse, because you look at this card and you're like, oh, he's a 3600 beater. He's unaffected by card effects. He shuffles cards from the field to the deck. And then he stops me from, he's pretty much mistake on legs. I'm going to kaiju that. That's the only out. If you kaiju this card, I'll read you its other effect. If this card's sent to the graveyard, even if it's from the extra deck to the graveyard, you target 3 of the baby Megazoids and special summon them. So you bring back the red, the blue, and the green. And those are all XYZs that have huge bodies. And then what you do is you use your field spell to send those to the send itself to the graveyard, summon the second Magnus using the materials that the first Magnus got you. So if you summon 1 Magnus and it dies, it automatically sets, this first Magnus automatically sets you up to summon the second one. So like, this card just never dies. And then for the Megazoids, so you play Grand Pulse, Ouroboros, and this is Magna Liner, but I don't have a Magna Liner, so I have to proxy. So you make them, they're generic, but if they have Super Quantums as XYZ materials, all their effects can be activated during either player's turn. This one pops spells or traps, this one Book of Moons monsters, this one destroys monsters, whether they're face up or not. So you have spell speed 2 disruption now. And sometimes it's better to just leave all 3 than it is to summon Magnus, and depending on the matchup, like, to have 3 forms of disruption is insane versus just 1, but he is 1 just like crazy boss monster. So that's it for your you know, your Super Quantums and stuff. The rest is just like links. Well, except for the 1 Michael. I still play Michael because you're playing Lightsworns. He's just really, really good. Being able to put all your stuff back is what's more important, and gain life points. You can cut them though if you want. So for links, we play Curios, we play Firewall, we play the Nightmare cards that I have. I don't have, you know, like I said, I don't have Unicorn or Griffin, but I do have, you know, Cerberus, Phoenix, and Goblin. And if I had Ibli, well, when I get Ibli and start playing it, I'm going to play Mermaid and Ibli, because in Lightsworns, it's actually just retarded. In fact, I can even say it's redundant, like bad, stupid. Scoldred and then Borlode for your links. So your ideal play is just to summon him first, and then once you summon him first, you just let it go. Bam, bam, bam. Then you have 3,100 booty, 2,700 booty, 2,900 body. And if that's not good enough, you just upgrade it to Magnus. And that's the ideal play you're trying to go for with this deck. But if you can't do that, you can always just link. You can always just go into your Curious, summon the first two, and then link with the Curious, and then go into your Firewall, and then put the other Megazoid under that. So there's a lot of ways you could do it, but it's better to do Skull Dread because like he allows you to draw, and then also the other cool thing that he does is Sorry uses Skull Dread special summons the other Power Ranger. Like when you do your standard combo, it's pretty easy to get the Blue Ranger and the Green Ranger on the field. The issue sometimes is getting the red one out. Because like if you can't special them with your effect, like for example, if you didn't have them already, like that's an issue. Because like these are pretty easy to get. So making the Skull Dread, you can just special summon this from hand, get his effect, add a resource from grave, and then you XYZ with all of these. And then every time you detach for an effect of any of your Power Rangers, they will get their effects from grave on a separate chain link. So you'll always generate advantage on this deck. Like I said, it's really, really good. Try out Lightsworn Power Rangers yourself. If you think the deck doesn't work, dude, just play it. I promise you. It's crazy. It works. I'll show you guys some duels with this deck as well because it's pretty cool. Yeah, you guys, I think that's it. That's the last deck profile for the day. I think I did like 7 or 8. I'm really tired. It's 7 in the morning and I haven't sleep. I hope that you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Definitely check it out. All the other profiles that I've done. Leave your honest opinion and feedback in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys for your loyalty, for the love and the support as well. I love you guys also. Y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy life, my brother, and make good choices. You will be hearing from me soon. Peace out.